Hi, welcome to BFS Wargaming. Patrick here with...
John.
Okay, so we are doing a 2,000 point battle between the Necrons and Craftworld. So we're going to go through the Necron list first. So we have a Vanguard detachment. So we've got a Vanguard and a Battalion detachment. Both detachments are Saltec. I've gone for a bit of a different list today. Probably something that any Necron player would look at and be like, yeah, that's not going to be very competitive.
It's not optimised.
It's not optimised, no. But I want to try and show off because we do a lot of Necron back reps through the channel, so I want to try and do some different ones and show a bit of variety. So I'm going to run through. First off, we've got the Vanguard detachment. We have the Citan of the Nightbringer. We have 10 flayed ones. We have 10 Lich Guard, and HQ and the Warlord is Imhotep, the Stormlord, and he has the Hyperlogical Strategist Warlord trait, which he has to take, which is the one where you can get command points back on a 5-up, and also you can re-roll a save, wound roll or hit roll once per battle.
And the command points are only in your use of command
yes,
points? Yes,
so it's a 5-up, but it's only on when I use command points.
Okay.
And then we have the Battalion, which we have, again, is Saltec. We have 3 units of 5 Immortals. We have 3 units of 3 Scarabs. We have the Lord, and we have the Cryptek with the Canaptech Cloak, and he also has the Relic Veil of Darkness. We're taking the Doom Scythe because...
You don't often take one, do you?
I don't.
No.
I never take the Doom Scythe because they're just not very good for the points. I mean, I'm playing Saltec, and I think if you're going to take a Doom Scythe, you want to take it when you're playing Saltec because you then don't suffer the -1 to hit on the big Death Ray, which obviously makes it better. But for 205 points, I just don't think it's priced very well. I mean, me and John were talking earlier, along with Alex, and we were talking about the price difference between this and a Void Ray, Drukhari Void Raven Bomber. And the Void Raven Bomber is about 50 points cheaper. And weaponry wise, it's pretty similar in terms of the amount of firepower they can put out. But the Void Raven Bomber has the Void Bomb, which you can use once per battle, which is brutal. And it also has a 5-up invuln. It has 1 less wound, a 5-up invuln. And this has, the only thing this has is living metal, which gives you 1 wound back, which is good, but...
It's only 1 wound, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not going to give a great deal more longevity, is it?
No, so, and I think like for the price difference, I mean, you know, if you had the choice of the 2 between an army, you'd never take that. You'd always take the Void Raven Bomber. So,
and we compared it to the Hemlocks as well.
Yes.
At 5 points more, they can cause considerably more damage.
Yeah, I mean the Hemlocks are you know you can take them D size, which are auto hit. You've got it's also
-2 leadership bubble, which isn't particularly effective against Necrons, but some armies it can absolutely decimate them.
Yeah.
So.
And also they're a psycho.
Yeah.
So you know you can be dealing out smite or some other psychic power. It can also deny if it needs to.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we have the Monolith, which again I don't think many people would take if they were taking an optimised list because of the amount of points Monoliths are. 381 points. The thing is, Monoliths are good. They'd be really good, and they'd be worth taking. I think if they had a 5-up invuln against shooting, that would just make them be able to last that little bit longer and use them as like the transport, because there's some really good stratagems you can use with Monoliths. It's just the fact that if you've got a couple of big guns, you're taking this out within a turn or maybe 2. You know, they just don't last very long. You know, a couple of las cannons into it and it's going to be pretty much next to useless anyway. But yeah, so it's a bit of a different list. I'm going to try it out. Hopefully be able to give John some trouble. There are some things in here which can cause some trouble. So it's not like it's a weak list. It's not like I'm hoping that John's not just going to absolutely batter me. So I think it should be a good back rep and it should be entertaining. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this with the magic of editing, and we're going to come back with the Craftworld.
Hi, so here's the Craftworld list for today. Today is just pure Craftworld. I have today's the release date of the Harlequin Codex, which I have over the back of the room, and a small sort of Harlequin force, which I'm hoping to bring in and play alongside this in the future. But today,
you've got about 1,000 points, haven't you?
About 1,000 points so far, about a battalion's worth, I think it is, roughly speaking. But yeah, today we're still just playing Craftworld. Very similar list to what I played last time. Very similar to the point that it is exactly the same. Bar the Craftworlds, I'm playing a fully Alatok Craftworld list today, rather than splitting Alatok and Northway. So we'll start off.
Which is the -1 to hit outside of 12?
Yeah, outside of 12, -1 to hit. Yeah, so full Alatok list. So we've got Battalion. So we've got the Farseer, who's going to be running Guide and Doom. They tend to be my go-to powers there, to be honest. They're quite useful. They tend to be...
Doom is very, very good.
Doom's very good.
Doom's
very good. Guide is as well. Helps you get the hits on, but Guide's good as well. So HQ's Farseer and the Autarch. And the 3 troop choices, we've got a 5-man squad of Rangers, a 10-man squad of Guardians with a Shuriken Cannon platform, and a 15-man squad of Guardians with the Shuriken Cannon platform. They've got transports for them as per, as you've probably noticed by the way I run my lists. We've got 3 Wave Serpents, 1 with just triple Shuriken Cannons, and 2 with twin Bright Lance and an underslung Shuriken Cannon. And these 2 also have crystal targeting matrices, which just takes away, it helps them hit basically. We can put more in the description for you on that.
It's the closest,
closest enemy target. When they move and advance, they can still shoot without penalty at the closest enemy target. Anything beyond that, they still have the penalty.
Quite cool.
Yeah, it's very useful. We then got a 3-man squad of Wind Riders. They're not particularly in a detachment. They're just not to fulfill anything, just there to fill some points and give us a bit of movement and flexibility. Final part we've got is a Spearhead detachment. The HQ is the Spirit Seer over here. We're taking 2 squads of Dark Reapers, both with Exarchs, with the Tempest launchers again, which is the weapon that doesn't need line of sight, which is quite useful. We've got a War Walker, which has I believe it was a Bright Lance and a Star Cannon. Just going to check for you. Yeah, so the War Walker was Bright Lance and Star Cannon on that one. Again, same weapon choice I took last time. It's because I need to think a bit more heavy firepower for this army. That's what I found lacking against Necrons last time we played. All I had was really Shuriken Cannons around the board, and it didn't really have the armour penetration I needed, to be honest. So
it's because you weren't, obviously with the Shuriken, you have to be rolling them 6 to get the armor penetration, which then goes to -3, which is obviously very good, but you just weren't rolling any.
I wasn't rolling the 6s at all, it wasn't happening. And then to finish off, like I said, as again last time, didn't want to take the full air wing of 3 Hemlocks, so we're just taking the 2 of them. It proved pretty destructive against the Custodes in the last battle we played.
They were very, very good. I mean, the D-Sives are just horrible, especially when you're going to if you try and charge them. The Overwatch is just so bad. I mean, you know, you're automatically hitting, and then you're basically automatically wounding. Yeah. Because I mean, you're wounding everything on 2s.
Strength 12, isn't it? Yeah. So 2.
I mean, it's pretty much everything on 2s. Isn't it?
Yeah, which is good. Learned my lesson against last time. Neither of these are taking Horrify this time because leadership's a bit irrelevant against Necrons.
It is a little bit.
But I think I'm going to try and utilise Smite a bit more with them because again, against the Custodes, I didn't think leadership was particularly something you can focus on because they've got such small unit size. So use the Smite, and first turn, I mean, I did have a Peril on that game, didn't I?
Yeah.
Which took 3 wounds off mine, but it wiped out, I think, 2 Custodes in that one Smite, wasn't it?
I know, it was 1 Custode because I rolled the 6 up in a pain.
Yeah, that was it, the Philo Pain saved a bit there, but yeah, really destructive there. So that's 1997 points of Craftworld, as I say, or Alatok, and yeah, we'll see how they fare against an alternative Necron list this time, without Destroyers.
So, what we're going to do, we're going to set up the battlefield, roll off the deployment, roll off for the mission, and then we'll deploy, come back to you and do the roll off to see who goes first. Okay, so we have set up So we rolled off deployment and we got Dawn of War. So set up along the long board edge, same down here. So the Craftworld set up all the way down here. They have the
we've got Dark
Reapers, Spirit Seer?
Farseer,
sorry,
and
the Autarch. In this, we have the
Spirit Seers and a 10-man Guardian squad in that.
Yeah, and then in this one,
a squad of Dark Reapers.
they have the Guardians ready to be set up. Not Guardians, Rangers, sorry.
Rangers are in their scout.
Yeah, in their scout, and so is the Wall Walker. And then the Necrons are deployed like so, and they have the Lich Guard and Flayed Ones set up on a Tomb World. So we are going to go into roll-off. So John has +1 because he deployed first, because everything's in a transport. So roll off. So I've got 6.
Ooh.
And John got 2. Would you like to seize?
I'll give it a go. I'd like to, but no.
He doesn't with a 2. So Necrons turn 1. Okay, Necron turn 1 movement. So we've moved the monolith up, the Cryptech, Immotech. We just shuffled these scarabs around. These Teslas and the Lord of Stable they are. The Teslas over there shuffled down a bit. Tesla Immortals here have stayed. The Cetan and some scarabs moved up, and scarabs have stayed over there, and our Doomside has moved up to here. So, just to let you know, John's Rangers have dropped in there. So, cards wise, we've got Code of Combat. So, score 1 victory point if a Necron character killed an enemy character during the fight phase. Mission critical objective, which I rolled a 1 on, and no one controlled it, so it didn't matter. Defend objective 4, which is right over the other side, in and amongst the Craftworld, and then slaughter the living. So luckily I only gambited 1, so I gambled 1 victory point, or a tactical objective. So I could, with all being well, get that.
It's feasible.
So we're going to go into the shooting phase and Cetan power phase for Necron's turn. End of Necron turn 1. Shooting and everything, because we're not in range to charge anything. So one of the things we need to do was completely destroy a unit. We got these Rangers down to 4, and John rolled morale, and he rolled a 3, which is just what they needed. If he'd got a 4 or more, he would have fled, and I would have got a victory point, and then would have got the point which I gambled. So we fired a lot of the Immortals into them. We fired some of the Monolith guns into them. We fired the... Oh, we've done the Cetan power and done 3 mortal wounds on the Hemlock. We then fired the Death Ray. I'd got 1, re-rolled it, and got 2 shots with it. I'd used the Mefrit stratagem to add 1, so therefore I was hitting on 3s, and I rolled a 2 and a 1. So missed. The Tesla Destructors, I fired into the Wave Serpent, and actually took it down 2 to 11, or was it 1?
2.
Yep,
Yes,
2 to 11. And over here, we took the Hemlock down to 8 because we took another wound off it with the Monolith. So, not a great turn at all in terms of damage. Obviously with the -1 to hit, and then -1 because of flyers and things like that. Outside of 12 inches with the Aotok is very, very difficult. I'm hoping that we don't get too much damage done to us, and we can maybe do some more on turn 2, but we will see what happens in the Craftworld turn 1.
Right there we go. End of movement phase, turn 1 for the Craftworlds. I gambled the one point, which I think is achievable. I've managed to get Kingslayer, which won't be achievable, I haven't got there yet. Secure objective 6, again that's just behind the Scarabs, right behind enemy lines, so not really achievable either for me. Master the Warp, which is either deny or what's the word? Manifest 1 warp power, which is psychic power, which is entirely feasible. Got a couple of hemlocks on the board ready to go, so should be able to get that. And then advance, which is everyone out your deployment zone. I have a Wave Serpent over there, some Dark Reapers came out, and a hemlock still in. So at the moment, I'm banking on mastering that warp. So we'll see if we get that. In terms of movement, 1 hemlock flew all the way up to the back of the board over there. See if we can do some damage to those immortals. We disembarked the Dark Reapers into this building just here, and just moved this Wave Serpent across a bit with a twin Bright Lance. This hemlock flew across to say hello to the Croissant. The other 2 Wave Serpents moved up, no disembarking there, moved and advanced, the pair of them, as did the Wind Riders, just to come and get a bit closer to this lot of immortals. But it's end of movement phase, turn 1. We'll go on to psychic and shooting phase. Right, it's end of Craftworld psychic and shooting phase, turn 1. We started off with using restrain on the croissant that was here, which halves enemy movement. That went off, which gets us the Master of the Warp card. We then tried smite over here onto the immortals. Unfortunately, I perilled on a double 1. Chose the command point, re-roll that one, which ended up being a 3 and a 1, so it didn't go off, but stopped me from perilling. That was basically the psychic phase over with. Then on to shooting phase. We started off with the shuriken cannons into the immortals, and I believe took 1 out. Then we used the, sorry, not shuriken cannons, shuriken catapults. We then used the shuriken cannons on this model and took another couple out. We then used the shuriken cannon on this model and took another 1 out, I believe it was.
No, you used the thing to take out.
Oh no, sorry, yeah. Shuriken cannon tried to, didn't do anything. We then used the serpent shield on this and took some out, and we've then used overload energy field projector, which you can't see because of the light here. It's basically just 1 command point to reuse the serpent shield and the same thing. So this one has no serpent shield, but those immortals are gone. We used the hemlock here with its D scythes onto the croissant. I should use the proper name really.
Doom Scythe.
Doom Scythe.
Done that 8 wounds.
Did a straight 8 wounds. It's
Didn't
only
have any save.
12 total.
Yep.
So that took it down to just 4 remaining.
Because you were automatically hitting and you were wounded on 2s.
Yeah. So showing how powerful it can be there.
It had no save. It's got no invine. It's got no quantum shielding. So
yeah. Not ideal. We then used the D-sides over the back there and took out 2 of the immortals. The shuriken cannon on this managed to take out a scarab base, a couple of 6s on the wound rolls, which are straight wounds on those ones, thankfully, and one with a save, which I believe he found as well, didn't he?
Yes, because they've only got 6 up save.
And then the Bright Lances took down another 1 immortal. At that point, I had to choose where these Dark Reapers were going to shoot, and thought it prudent to hit the Doom Scythe again. Managed to take the wounds away on that one. And get rid of it finally with the Exarch shots, which are... Yeah, it was
actually the last Exarch shot.
Yeah, it was the last shots I had, went through and did only 1 damage, I think it was. So literally just killed it off with the 4 wounds there. But end of the turn, we've managed to get just Master the Warp. But as I only gambited 1, that's a point that I needed there. So we are on to Necron turn 2.
Okay, Necrons turn 2, movement phase. So we got rid of defend objective 4 and the other one where you roll on the objective marker because it was done. So we've still got the code of combat. We've got endless legions, so if I end up reanimating up to 10, I'll get a victory point. Got to hold the line, which I could do if I could take out a hemlock and slaughter the living, which is doable. So I only gambited 1 because the only one I knew I could do was slaughter the living, and I got these 2. So we moved the Citan over here and some Scarabs. We moved these Scarabs up towards the Hemlock as well. We reanimated one Immortal. These Immortals and Lord stayed here. The Lich Guard have disembarked and moved up, and then the Monolith moved up behind them, and then Imhotep, some Scarabs and the Cryptek have moved up too. And that is all of our moving done. So we are going to attempt to do some damage because at the moment we haven't really done anything, so we need to do something. So we'll see what happens in the shoot-in and Citan power phase. Okay, end of Necron shoot-in turn 2. So the Teslas shot over here and they took the Hemlock down 1 wound. And then we're hopefully going to charge some stuff in a second. The Citan done Antimatter Meteor on this Wave Serpent and took it down 3 wounds. Over in this area, the Tesla Immortals fired into the Ranger, with 1 remaining Ranger, and didn't kill him. So we had to then finish him off with a couple of the Monolith weapons. The Cryptek fired into this and took it down a wound. 1 wound. The Imhotep fired in but didn't do anything. Then he called a storm on this and done 5 mortal wounds on it. He didn't then get any 6s on these 2 units to then do D3, so that was unfortunate, but it's quite a big ask. And the Particle Whip and the other shot into this. The Particle Whip didn't do anything, and nor did...
I got another wound off it, didn't it?
Oh, did you get another wound?
It was another wound off the Particle Whip, I think it was, yeah.
No, it was, I think it was the Gas Fire got 1 wound, yeah. And that was it. So we're going to go into the charge phase and see if we can get some charges off and maybe actually do some damage, because at the moment we're not doing enough damage because they've got lots of stuff to get out of Wave Serpents and stuff to bring in and all sorts. So turn 2, I'm probably, Craftworld turn 2, I'm probably going to be in trouble, so I need to take some stuff out. Okay, charge and fight phase. So we charged in the Citan and some Scarabs into this Hemlock. We done 8 damage. Well, we got 3d6 through with the Citan. We rolled 8 damage. The Hemlock only had 7 wounds left, and John rolled 4 6 up, feel no pains out of 8. So very, very good. We then, so it had 4 left. We exploded a Scarab in, done another, no, sorry, it had 3 left. Exploded a Scarab, done another 2 damage, took it down to 1. The other Scarabs fought, but John saved the 2 wounds that got through. So that Hemlock is still flying about, and to be honest, when it's degraded, it doesn't. The only thing that goes down is its movement, because its weapons are automatically hit.
It's still minimum 20 inches on every level, which is...
Yeah, it's still going to be moving 20 inches. Okay, so over here, the Lich Guard charged in. They destroyed the Wave Serpent. They done 14 damage to it.
Yep.
These guys dropped out down here within 3 inches of the Wave Serpent, and that was the end of the fight phase.
Yep.
There was no morale to take, so we are going to be going into Craftworld turn 2, and I think we're about to see lots of stuff appear on the board.
Right, so end of Craftworld movement phase turn 2. We managed to move up the 1 wound Hemlock away from the Citan to give it a bit of distance. It won't last much longer, but if I can cause some damage, I'll be happy. This Hemlock flew from the back of the field all the way across over here towards Objective 6. This is just where all of his models really are at the moment, so I need to get involved there. We've brought in the Warwalker and the big 15-man unit of Guardians with their platform. They've come in off their Webway strike. Everything disembarked from transports and came over here, so we've got a squad of Dark Reapers, a squad of 10 Guardians and a platform, the Spirit Seer, the Far Seer and the Autarch. The jet bikes moved forward a bit. The Wave Serpent with the triple shurikens moved over here a bit, give himself a bit of sight. Over at the back We've brought the Dark Reapers forward. They had to advance to get out of deployment zone. And the last Wave Serpent with the bright lances has moved forwards as well to get towards secure objective 5. So that's the end of Craftworld movement phase, onto the psychic and shooting. Right, so end of Craftworld, turn 2 psychic phase. Lots more psychic because everyone's out this turn. So we did a smite onto, is it your Overlord, sorry?
A Lord.
Onto a Lord just there, and did 1 damage. 1 mortal wound on him there with the smite. We then came across with this Hemlock and used Restrain on the Lich Guard, which went off, so they're now half movement till next psychic phase. We then did Smite with the Spirit Steer on the Lich Guard. It went off with a double 6, but perilled unfortunately with that obviously, so he took 2 wounds and they took 3, so was that 1 down and 1 on 1 wound, is that right?
Yep.
Yep. We then tried to do Doom on them as well. Unfortunately failed that one, even using my Ghost Helm, I think it was. Sorry, Runes of the Farseer. And then we tried to cast Smite as well, but unfortunately that one failed because obviously it's +1 for each attempt on the FAQ rules as we play. So that didn't go off. Other than that, we're now on to shooting phase, turn 2. Right, there we go, so end of Craftworld shooting phase, turn 2, lots of shooting. We shot lots of Guardians and the like into Lich Guard and took away, we got 5 left, so 5 went down there. We did lots of shooting of the Wave Serpent with the triple Shuriken and these 3 Wind Riders into Scarab bases and got a fair few wounds on a few of them. I think we got rid of 1 from the shooting from those.
Yep.
We then shot a load of Guardians and Warwalkers across over here to try and thin them out. Obviously,
you shot all the Guardians that killed the last 2.
Yeah.
And the Warwalker shot into the Cryptic.
There you go. So we did that, got rid of that. We then shot the final Hemlock into both characters because you can shoot them now. Got rid of the Cryptek at the back. Unfortunately, Patch used the command point, which he didn't get back, or did get back. I can't remember.
No, I rolled a command reroll on Imhotep to save one of his last.
Oh yeah, because D3, 6 wounds got through.
Yeah, it was 6 wounds got through, and there was 2 damage each. Sorry, 3 wounds got through, 2 damage each, which would have killed him at 6 wounds. So I've re-rolled 1 and saved it, so he only done 4 wounds. And then used a command point, resurrection protocols, because the Cryptek died, to bring the Cryptek back to life on 1 wound.
Not nice. Also, the Hemlock did its shooting, split between the unit and the Overlord. Oh, it's not the Overlord, the Lord rather. Yep. Got the Lord down to 1 wound and managed to get rid of a couple of the Immortals. And then back over here, the Wave Serpent with the Twin Bright Lance shot at the 3 remaining Immortals and managed to get 1 of those gone, which obviously you still have resurrection protocols to pull on those. But that's the end of the shooting phase. I'm debating whether to charge, but we'll find out if I do shortly.
Okay, Necron turn 3. Yeah, Necron turn 3 movement. So we got defend objective 3, defend objective 2, the Endless Legions, which we've now reanimated. We reanimated 3 that turn, didn't we? 2 over here, 1 over there.
Yes.
So we only managed to reanimate 3.
That's 4 all that.
So I'll put a little. Not since I've had this, it's still only 3.
Okay.
So it's just since spent a card. So I'll put 3 on there like that. So movement, we moved the Nightbringer, advanced him, moved the Scarabs over. Immortals have stayed there. These Immortals and Lord sort of moved a little bit. The Monolith, well, the Flayed ones dropped out of the Monolith, and looking at the Guardians. Imhotep Stormlords over there, along with Cryptek moved up here, with the Lich Guard moving up slightly and the Monolith just moving up behind them. So we're going to go into the shooting phase. Okay, end of shooting for Necron's turn 3. So we shot these Immortals into these Reapers and we took 2 out. We done the Cetan Power Antimatter Meteor into the Hemlock with 1 wound and killed it. It didn't blow up. We shot these into the Hemlock and done like a wound. Imatech actually done quite well. With his flamer, he got 1 wound off of the Hemlock, and then with his staff, he got another 4 wounds because they do 2 damage each off the Hemlock. And then the Monolith ended up taking some more wounds with his Flare Array. And then John used, a bit late in the day...
Yeah, delayed it for some reason.
He should have used it earlier, but he used lightning fast reactions when I used my Particle Whip, which did actually save its life because it was on 5 and then I only done 4 wounds to it, so it has got 1 wound left, so it's going to live to fight another day and do some more psych and shooting and stuff. So we're going to go into the charge and fight phase now, and hopefully I can get some charges off. Okay, end of Necrons turn 3. So we failed to the charge over here. And we took 1 wound on the Lich Guard in Overwatch. We made the charge with the flayed ones, but actually lost 2 to Overwatch, and Imatech made the charge as well. And we ended up taking out 11 Guardians, and then the flayed ones have consolidated into the Warwalker, which we actually haven't done the fight back for the Guardians or the Warwalker. I've just realised that we will resolve that. And then the Guardians will need to take some morale, I'm guessing. And then, other than that, the points, I gambled 1, but I haven't actually got anything I could have done, because I am defending objective 3, but that can't be done until the end of John's turn, so I didn't get the point. So therefore John gets an extra victory point for that, and we are going to go into the Craftworld turn 3.
Right, there we go, start of Craftworld turn 3. I paid 2 command points to auto pass the morale on these 4 remaining Guardians from Unit 15, because they would have fled without doubt otherwise. Did roll to try and get them back and didn't, unfortunately, and then rolled for my Autarch, giving me a roll of 6 for a command point every turn, be it Pat's or mine, at the start of each turn. Failed that as well, so no command points back. I'm down to 0. I've gambled 1. Thankfully it paid off because I got the hidden path, which is basically roll a d6 if no enemies within, was it nobody? Well, basically within 12 inches you get a point, and I rolled a 1, which is sitting only there, so that one's passed, and the gamble's passed there. Over here everyone dropped back, which is useful. Give me a bit of line of sight on things. We've sort of fallen back into a bit of a corner, unfortunately, not what I really wanted to do, but it's needs must. The intention now is to try and shoot stuff and get it off the table as quickly as possible. Monolith's going to have to start getting some attention because it's just big with lots of shots. So yeah, on to Psychic Phase, turn 3. Right, there we go, so that's the end of the Psychic Phase. Not a great deal happened there. Hemlock cast Smite onto the Monolith and got down 3 wounds there. We had the Spirit Seer down here, attempted to cast Restrain on the Lich Guard. Didn't go off, unfortunately, failed that one. No command points to reroll, which is a shame because I'd like to slow them down. The Farseer then cast Doom over on Imatech, and that went off. So Imatech is hopefully doomed, we'll see if that's the case. And then he cast Smite, closest unit, Lich Guard again, 3 mortal wounds, got rid of 1, and got 1 wound on 1 and another whole 1. So that's down another 2 guys. So we are moving on to the shooting phase. I think most of it's going to be over here, to be honest. There we go, so end of Craftworld turn 3 shooting phase. We unloaded the Hemlock into the Monolith, and also the Bright Lancers and Shuriken Cannon from this Wave Serpent into the Monolith. Managed to take it down 10 wounds in total, so that's halved it in 1 shot, which is decent. We then shot the Shuriken Cannons at Imatech, which caused, I believe, a wound off that, possibly. Yep. And then we went across and shot the Dark Reapers into him. We're reserving the Tempest Launcher on the Exarch as well, but they got the wounds they needed to take him down, so we'll see if he stays down. Then we had a load of fire from Guardians, platforms, Wind Riders, all into the Immortals. Not Immortals, sorry, the Lich Guard. Not very good with Necrons. Managed to get those down to 2 guys left now. So we'll see what comes of the... well, the charge phase I don't believe is going to happen. I think I'm going to hold back for now, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, Necron turn 4, movement phase. So, we've still got the Endless Legions, we're up to 9 on that, so hopefully we'll get that next turn. Advance, we're not going to be getting that this turn. I gambled 1, by the way. Overwhelming Firepower, I'm hoping to get that. And then Defend Objective 2, we won't be getting that this turn. So, we moved the Cetan and some Scarabs around, we moved the Tesla Immortals over. These guys have stayed where they are. This Monolith's jumped up here. We reanimated 5 Lich Guard and 1 Flayed one, and we've moved them up and hoping to get them in to here. The Cryptek done some living metal on this to bring it up to, it's actually up to 12 now, but it's moved, and the Cryptek's up to 3. So we are going to go into the shooting phase, and then the Necron turn 4 shooting. These Tesla shot into the Wave Serpent and done 1 wound. The Cetan done Antimatter Meteor and done 3 wounds. Also, he tried to do his Death Gaze but it didn't work. These Immortals fired in, didn't do anything. The Monolith, well, the Cryptek fired in at the Wind Riders, done 1 wound. The Monolith fired his glass fire arcs at the Wind Riders and took them out. He then fired his Particle Whip at the Hemlock and took that out. The Hemlock didn't explode, but John command pointed it with his last command point, and it did explode and done 3 mortal wounds, so we're down to 9 on the Monolith. That was it as far as shooting, so we're going to see if we can get these charges off. There's going to be a fair amount of Overwatch, I should imagine, coming from John. So we'll see what happens there. Okay, end of Necron turn 4. So the charging was over here. Charged the Lich Guard into the Guardians, and we ended up taking them all out. And over here we charged the Flayed ones into all of this. We took out 2 Guardians, we took 2 wounds off the Warwalker, and we didn't do anything to the Wave Serpent. So we're going to go into points wise. Sorry, I gambled 1 point and I did get the 1 point because I got overwhelming firepower, so that puts me up 2. So we're going to be going into Craftworld turn 4. Really close game. I mean, John is kicking my butt on victory points, but in terms of actual units on the board, it's pretty even. So obviously now my close combat stuff's got into his stuff. He's probably at the disadvantage there, but he's now going to be probably clearing some of that stuff off the table. So be interesting to see how the land lies after turn 4. So yeah, here goes.
There we go, end of Craftworld movement turn 4. So all I've done is move this Wave Serpent down. The Dark Reapers in the corner are staying put. This guy's moved down. He has got crystal targeting, so he doesn't suffer the penalty for heavy weapons to move. Falling back over this corner and just sort of staying put in this section here. I've just got to kind of fight to the end now, really, haven't I, and try and survive turn 5. So Sod's Law will probably continue, but we'll see what happens. Psychic phase turn 4. There we go, so end of shooting and psychic phase turn 4. We managed to get 2 smites off on the Lich Guard, which did a bit of damage, thankfully. Also put Doom on them for re-rolling wounds. Then in that phase we basically chucked some grenades, shot some stuff from the Dark Reapers, all sorts into them, and with the re-roll wounds managed to take out the Lich Guard, which was really important because they were massacring me over here. Fell back with the Wave Serpent in the corner here, and the 2 remaining Guardians and the Warwalker. Shot with the Wave Serpent, managed to take down 1 of the Flayed ones, which is better than nothing. We then went across to the Wave Serpent over here. It shot its Shuriken Cannon and the Twin Bright Lances into the monolith and managed to get it down. In total, it's down to 4 wounds now, so nicely downed on its profile for us. And the final thing, which we very nearly, I very nearly forgot, the Dark Reapers over the back here. They've shot into the Immortals over here and managed to get rid of another 2. So they're down to 1, but still able to reanimate, unfortunately for me.
What are you on points?
Points wise, I did gamble 1 there. Unfortunately, I had Assassinate, Secure Objective 6, Scour the Skies, and Supremacy. Didn't get any of those, so Pat gets 1 for that. I don't. But at the moment, I am on 14 points.
I'm on 7.
To Pat's 7. So we're into Necron turn 5. See if Pat can turn us around.
Okay, Necron's movement turn 5. So, we did reanimate 1, so it got up to 10, so we've done that. We got Kingslayer, we got Defend Objective 2, and we have Advance. I'm not quite out of the zone yet for Advance, but maybe if the game goes on we could get that. So we are going to go into the shooting phase. We have moved up, I'll just quickly show, we've moved up the Cetan, the Immortals have all moved up, the Monolith moved back to Defend Objective 2, and then the Flayed Ones and the Cryptek have moved up. We're a little bit slim on numbers, but we're going to give it a good go and see if we can do some damage. Okay, shooting phase. We done Cetan Antimatter Meteor into the Dark Reapers over here and killed 2. These tests were mortal shot in but didn't do anything. We used the stratagem damage control override, which means that the monolith could fire on its top tier. Fired everything in and done 2 damage. And then these Tesla took it down another 1, so it's on 3. And we fired him with the Cryptek at the Reapers and took 1 off over there. So we're going to go into the charge and fight phase. Probably haven't really done enough damage here. We certainly won't have enough points. So if it ends on turn 5, we're definitely it's going to go to John. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, end of Necron's turn 5. So we charged in. We fought, and we took 1 wound off the Exarch. We took 1 wound off the Fast. Was it Farseer?
Farseer, yeah.
Yeah, and 1 wound off the Autarch. The spirits already had wounds, 3 wounds down or 2 wounds down. So they fought back and killed off 4 of the Flayed Ones, or 3 or 4, and they took the Cryptek down 2 in Overwatch. So that was the end of that. We only got 1 out of the objective cards. So we did gamble 2. So that means that John's going to get another 2 victory points because we didn't get Kingslayer, which we attempted. We didn't, Defend Objective 2 I'll get at the end of John's turn, and we didn't get Advance. So we're going to be going into Craftworld turn 5.
Right, so end of movement phase turn 5 for Craftworld. Decided to keep the Warwalker and the Wave Serpent in the bottom corner here. The 2 Guardians to the left here have just moved over towards the Flayed Ones, see if they can get involved with it. Everyone else is staying in combat because I think with Smite and the like I've got enough to deal with what's here. This Wave Serpent's moved around a little bit, it's only down to movement 8, but it gives him a far in position on the Monolith, which is the next big threat with his living metal and all that malarkey. So yeah, we're on to, Dark Reaper has stayed in the back corner. He's just kind of a bit of a distraction really. So other than that, I gambled 1 and got rid of 1 objective, got rid of Capture Objective 6 and managed to pull Defend Objective 6, so that's not going to happen, but there is ones here I think I can have. I've got Assassinate, and obviously there's an enemy character down here I can probably take, so we'll see what the Psychic phase brings. Right, so end of turn 5, Psychic and Shooting phase. We started off trying to put Doom on the no longer present Monolith, failed that one. We then tried to Smite with the Spirit Seer, onto the Overlord. Got one mortal wound on him to put him down to 1. Tried the same on the Farseer, fail. So he's still there with 1 wound. That was Psychic phase basically done. We then moved on to the shooting. The Dark Reaper Exarch over here decided to use his Tempest Launcher and managed to take out 2 Scarab bases. What a scalp, he's going to be proud of that one. We moved across and used the Wave Serpent. It managed to do a little bit of damage to the...
He took it down to 1 wound from 5.
Yeah, got it down 4 wounds, down from 5 to 1. He popped the Serpent Shield and missed on a 1, unfortunately, as always happens, and no command points to reroll. We then fired the triple Shuriken Cannon over here, just in range, and managed to pop the final wound with a -3 AP 6 that I rolled, so that was nice. We're now got a Cryptek on... What's Cryptek? On 1 wound, and it's going to be time to try and charge in and see what we can do here. So yeah, on to the fight phase. Hopefully the last one. Right, there we go, end of the fight phase. So everyone came in here, we got all excited, and then the Spirit Seer whacked mate on the head and kind of got it done straight early doors. Everyone else, Farseer, the 2 Guardians and the 4 Dark Reapers fought the Flayed ones and managed to get them down. There's only 1 left now. Unfortunately, they can still reanimate. How many depends on how many they can fit in the gaps, obviously, within distance. But yeah, that's the end of turn 5. So I suppose we have a roll to continue.
Yeah.
Would you like to roll? And we continue on a 5.
Okay, Necron turn 6 movement. So Tessa have moved up, Cetan, the Scarabs moved up, the Tessa Immortals and Lord have advanced over here. And that's all I've got left. So cards wise, we got Domination, clearly not going to happen. Still got Defend Objective 2, not going to happen. Assassinate, it's not going to happen. The only thing that's going to happen is Advance, which I did. I gambled 1, so I knew it's something I could do. And then obviously we couldn't reanimate that Flayed one, so he's just going to chill over there. Hopefully maybe take someone out with him when he dies. And then we're going to try and take this out. So we're going to go into the shooting phase. Okay, shooting phase. We shot these Immortals into this Reaper, did nothing, rolled really badly. The Cetan done his antimatter meteor, took out this Wave Serpent, and these guys couldn't shoot, well, because all this stuff's in combat. I am just going to quickly roll for the Flayed one over here. He's going to attack the Reapers, because why not? So he hit all 3, and then wounding. He gets to re-roll failed wounds, and roll a double 1. So 1 hit, let's see if John can save. And he does with a 4. So that was the end of that. John will do some fighting back and kill that Flayed one, but that will be the turn, and we're going to go into Craftworld turn 6.
Right, so the end of movement phase, turn 6. Everything's getting a bit stretched now. We've left the Dark Reaper still, just because he does enough standing still and shooting. We've managed to kill off that Flayed one in combat, so everything's freed up. Move forward the Spirit Seer and the Farseer, and I think we've just about got the Spirit Seer in range of these Immortals for a smite. Move forward this Shuriken Cannon armed Wave Serpent. That's got a shot there. Dire Avengers, not Dire Avengers, keep saying that. Dark Reapers staying still, and the War Walkers move, so he's going to suffer a -1 for hits, but he's got 48-inch range on his 2 weapons, so might be able to cause some damage with those. So on to Psychic and Shooting phase, turn 6. Okay, so end of Shooting and Psychic phase, or Psychic and Shooting phase. The Spirit Seer got a smite off and took out 2 guys. We then basically unloaded everything you can see here into the unit of Immortals and the Warlord, and took them out. In what sequence I don't know, it doesn't really matter. The Dark Reaper Exarch over here managed to get a few shots off and take out 2 guys over here, so not quite all dead. But that's the end of my turn 6. Pat is going to live roll for continuation. Let's see what we got.
6.
So 6, so it goes on to turn 7.
Okay, so end of turn 7. The Immortals took out the Exarch, Dark Reaper, C-tanned an Antimatter Meteor and took out the 2 Guardians. Tried to do his Assault Gaze, Death Gaze into the Wave Serpent, but didn't do anything. And yeah, that's it. I mean, we're going to go into John's turn 7. Obviously, this is the last turn. John's so many victory points ahead, it's a pretty much guarantee. Well, it is a guarantee because he's not going to be tabled. So, but we'll go and see if he can take me out.
Right, there we go. So end of turn 7, end of the game. Pat, as he said, brought the C-Tan forward. It was pretty much just a suicide mission to see what happens at this point. Everything fired into him. Got him down to 3 wounds from 6, was it?
8.
8, sorry, so 3 wounds from 8, so 5 wounds down. But that's where the game ends. We've got the Craftworld on 20 to Pat's Necrons on 11, was it?
Yes.
11. All in all, considering Pat's list isn't an optimised, particularly competitive list, to be honest, there's still things on the table in turn 7. So there's some units that have done really well there, isn't there?
Yeah, right. I think the Lich Guard were good. It's just that thing with the Lich Guard. I mean, you're dropping out of combat, and then they're going to get targeted because they are lethal in combat. The Immortals were the Immortals because you were playing the Aliatok, the -1. Obviously, you don't get Tesla, unfortunately, unless you do. My Will Be Done. Imhotep got taken out fairly early just because the positioning of when they dropped out left him with his closest unit, so therefore he could be shot, which was maybe a slight mistake from me, but I think it was just unlucky the way things happened.
Early dice rolls were definitely in my favour as well. I got lucky on some of the early rolls that made a difference.
The Flayed one's actually is probably the best they've ever done.
They hung around for a couple of turns, 2 or 3 turns.
To be honest, the Flayed ones usually die so quick that, but I took them because I just wanted to use them and do something with them. The Scarabs were Scarabs. I mean, the C-Tan again was probably one of my best units.
Always really MVP, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, the Doom side was absolutely awful. worst unit I had.
1 turn and popped. 1 round of shooting from 1 thing and popped, isn't it? So
it was literally. I mean, it's just so weak that. It's toughness 6 with no invuln, no quantum shielding. It's just terrible. I mean, it's hard to hit, but then it's got the hard to hit. So, but then
also hits with Hemlocks is kind of irrelevant, isn't it?
And Dark Reapers always hit and freeze.
Yeah.
So it basically negated that. But even then, just a -1 to hit with nothing else. I mean, you look at the Hemlocks; they've got like Spirit Stones -1 to hit, -2 to hit with Altiot. We just haven't got that. And then the Monolith's the same. I mean, you didn't even fire at the Monolith, and then once you chose to fire at the Monolith and you didn't even use everything, it died quick. Bright Lances.
Out of the 3, the 3 units you tend not to take at all, the Doom Scythe, the Monolith, and probably the Flayed ones, aren't they? Is there any of those you would consider sort of adding to a more optimised list, or are they just outweighed by the Wraiths in combat?
Yeah, I mean, Wraiths,
Destroyers are shooting.
Yeah, Wraiths and Destroyers are really what are great.
They're the power player's choice, aren't they? They are. An optimised list needs those.
Yeah, I mean, Doomsday Arcs are pretty good because just for the extra firepower. It's just the Monolith. The Monoliths are good, and I like the stratagems that I have with the Monoliths in terms of bringing units in. You can teleport units to the Monolith and stuff like that, which is really, really good. So they have some good things to them, but they're just so weak. Like, although they've got 20 wounds and toughness 8, they're just, I mean, you look at stuff like the Drukhari and things like that, you're looking at minus 5 up invuln for all of their unit vehicles. And it's like, they've got 5 up invuln, and then you can give them a 6 up feel no pain. And I know that they're weaker, but they're the same toughness as the Doomsday Arcs, the same toughness as the Doom Scythes, but you know, we do get reanimation protocol and stuff like that, which is very good.
Yeah.
So I can't complain too much. It's just, you know, some things I suppose in your army is weak, some things are good. It's just a shame with the Doom Scythe and the monoliths, for how much points they are, they should be better. Because that's the thing. For the amount of points, you're not going to take them for, you know, 381 points for a monolith. That's like a Lord of War price.
For effectively a transport with a bit of shooting, which isn't spectacular.
No, the shooting's not
it's
great.
Okay, but it's not spectacular. It's a lot of points, isn't it?
Yeah.
Considering that the other transport options, for instance, like Razorbacks, you can get them for within 150 points. You can get a las cannon Razorback.
Exactly.
And you think, would you prefer to take that?
Exactly.
Over one, if you had the option between the two, you would, wouldn't you?
Sorry, you could have 2 las cannon Razorbacks, and without and still 80 points to spare. You know.
The only thing I would compare a monolith in terms of transport to a Gorka or Morkanaut. They can take stuff, they can shoot not particularly well, but you focus one round of shooting and they're popped, and that's that. So they don't get taken. No Orc player will take a Gorka or Morkanaut unless they're just doing it for fun.
Yeah, exactly. So, and they are, like, monoliths are a good fun unit. I just want them to be, if they just had a 5-up invuln, it would just make it like worth its points, because you know it's going to take some fire anyway. It would just allow it to soak up a little bit more fire, and you think, oh, I'll take a monolith because I know it's going to soak up some fire. Whereas, I mean, your Wave Serpent, so your transport. Yeah,
my 138 point, I think it was off the top of my head, transport with Bright Lances.
Yeah. Less
with Shuriken Cannons.
Like, as soon as he hit it, wounded it, it was like, I don't get a save. D6 damage, you know. And you only need a couple of things like that firing at it, and it's gone. And if it's not gone, it's down to such a bad state that it's pretty much, I mean, it's got down to a 4-inch move with a 5-up shooting.
I mean, I think the Craftworld is a tough army to face anyway. They are solid. You've seen already on the channel how a more optimised Necron list can still make mincemeat of them, to be honest, played well. There is still more optimal ways of playing Eldar. And I mean, I'm going to be showing you Harlequins hopefully soon. They're still in the box all to build and make up, and they'll give me a bit more combat to sort of counter some of past units. But I mean, there's lots that can change, isn't there? Still, so.
I mean, Craftworld are good, and you have to play them, I think, in certain ways to really make them.
And I'll be the first to say I'm not playing them as strongly as I could, because I'm still learning them, to be honest. Still getting a bit of experience.
What's this, your fifth
or sixth game? I think it must be. Yeah. Not all televised, thankfully.
So yeah, it's you know, we're still learning and stratagems and things like that, and also with the synergies and stuff like that, what goes with what. That's, you know, what goes with what, and this, how the things you can do on first turn. There's so much we can optimise in terms of how tournaments players play and what they do, and I think we could obviously spend a bit more time looking at our lists and making them better if we wanted to. Obviously, like today, the list I took was because I wanted to have a good game and have a good laugh, and same as you. So it was a really good game. I really enjoyed it. I didn't get tabled, which I was happy about. You know, I was still alive.
Reanimation's helped you again there, isn't it?
Up till turn 7, I was still alive, so it was good. I mean, you were worried you were going to get tabled at one point.
I called it tabling at turn 2 because I thought whenever I play objectives, I tend to get tabled. But
like, once my Lich Guard had gone from that end, that was
a
my
pivotal
big threat
point,
gone,
wasn't it?
and the C-Tan was too far away to come and really
couldn't really affect. That's where the weight of my army was at that point. So
to be honest, I think that the deployment didn't help me with the army I had, because I would have preferred it all to be more
bunched up and close.
Because I would have had the obviously with the close combat, whereas because it was spread out, I then had to try and get stuff from up there to here.
I had the upper hand with mobility straight away, and that made a big difference.
I did not have
it spread you whether you want it to be or not. Didn't it, really?
I did not have a mobile army at all. So, but again, really good. Like, I'm really happy how the list worked in terms of
for what it was, for a list that you weren't expecting to do well. I think you probably argue it did better than you probably expected. Still,
it did. So, I actually do think it did. I mean, the Doom Scythe done what I expected to do and died.
But it took a round of shooting.
It took one wound off of a Wave Serpent. That's what that 205 point model done, and then died.
And then got blown up by a 210 point model in one turn.
Yeah. Because the 210 point model is far down.
Yes.
And then I mean, the monolith again was it done alright. It wasn't useless. as a transport, it was good. I mean,
it wasn't doing enough damage to draw enough attention from me until I kind of thought, let's just move it, let's get it gone.
Because that was the next thing, wasn't it? You were like, okay, we've taken it out.
We've done the Lich Guard.
Yeah.
That was the major threat. Let's get on to something else.
Or
that
if you
can do
couldn't
a
see
bit.
the Lich Guard, you just put it into Monolith.
Yeah.
And I think what I'm going to probably take the Doom side as a Night side at some point, just to try that out.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. They used to do okay in 7th, they were pretty reasonable. So
play that with a Monolith, so you've got a couple of options of where you can drop the King. So I did play with 2 Monoliths against Tau, against Andrew.
That must
it worked. It was good fun. It's just that the only reason they lasted so long was because he wasn't really playing any big guns. He had loads of infantry, so it was more that the luck of what he played against me that they lasted in any time really. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm going to keep trying to do different lists with the Necrons and just to show a variety of stuff really on the channel.
But again, just to end here, the hab block terrain we've got on display here again with the walkways from 40k Gaming, available, from Mad Gaming Terrain, available through 40k Gaming. We'll put links into our descriptions at a point. It's currently not available retail as yet, but it's coming very shortly. As you can see, all magnetised and the like. Really versatile, great gaming terrain, really sort of brings the table to life. So yeah, that's our battle report over. Thanks for watching guys, like and subscribe, and yeah, give us your opinions.